All right, so getting back into it. Giving all praises on the glories to Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, Bashim Mashak Yahushai, Bashim Rakar Kodash. Getting back into it. Yeah, man. Just what I'm saying. The comforters of this world. You know what I'm saying. The carnality, the vanity. That's what you need to be trying to give up in these last days. It's not important no more. It says going back to 2 Timothy 3:2. For men shall be lovers. Salaki. 2 Timothy 3:1. This know also that on the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. And that's true, man. That's true, man. That's all you see in this world right now. You see all that, really. Shall love on itself, covetousness.
Strong's G 5366. Philarguros. Philarguros.
Loving money, avarice. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of people, man. The script now it's like the what the how about Shem Shai says doesn't matter. Everybody's trying to get rich quick. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a billionaire, generational wealth, all this bullshit that don't really matter. It says extreme greed for wealth or material gain. Extreme greed. You know what I'm saying? You're taking it too far. Taking it way too far. You see that a lot. You know what I'm saying? People want to be scammers, trappers. You know what I'm saying? People, money. Everybody just trying to get some money. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, selfish, greedy, boasters. You know what I'm saying? Let's go into that word, boasters.
Strong's G 213. Aladzone. Aladzone.
An empty pretender, a boaster, braggart, an empty pretender. That's a lot of folks. An empty pretender, trying to be stuff they ain't. Proud, blasphemers. You know what I'm saying? Lying on the scriptures, lying against the truth, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. Especially the so-called nation of Israel. I can't even really get on these devils because they were meant to be the devil. But the nation of Israel, this all applies to you. And these devils too. But it applies to you more because these scriptures were written for you and to you. So these are your it condemns you as well. You know what I'm saying? It condemns you as well, you know what I'm saying? Because it takes one, I ain't going to say it takes one to know one, but the writers of the Holy Scriptures, they knew what they were dealing with. Ultimately, through the Spirit and power of Habashim Shah and all this stuff, it hits right home with the nation of Israel because the nation of Israel is all these things, including these devils too. But hey, I wasn't sent for these devils. I was sent for the nation of Israel to wake up the elect. And this is 2 Timothy 3:3. Without natural affection, natural affection, going into that homosexuality, that bestiality, that transgenderism, and ultimately it's going against, you know what I'm saying, how we kill each other in the streets, you know what I'm saying, how we have a hatred on heart towards our brother, how we have all this we hold these grudges, and we have these dispositions against our own people.
Strong's G 794. Astargas. Astargas.
Without natural affection, unsociable, Romans 1:31, and human, Timothy's 3:3, 11. Let's look what the scripture got to say. Okay, I guess I have to grab the scripture. Romans 1:31. Romans 1:31. Without understanding, covenant breakers without natural affection. Oh, I guess it's just mentioning where else that word is used. But yeah, without natural affection, on the physical level, going into that homosexuality, going into the transgenderism, the bestiality, stuff like that. Well, on the deeper level, talking about how we treat each other. It says truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. And that's despisers, despisers of those that are good. Talk even not even the men of the Lord, you know what I'm saying? Y'all be hating on folks just because they ain't as wicked as you. Y'all be hating on folks because they don't want to do all the wicked shit that y'all do. They condemn you for it. You know what I'm saying? They hateth them that rebuketh in the gate. Despisers of them that are good. Afilagatos.
Strong's G 865. Aphilagathos.
Afilagados.
Aphilagathos.
Says opposed to goodness and good men. Hostile to virtue. Hostile to virtue. That's a lot of you wicked ass people, man. Be hating on folks just because they ain't fucking wicked like your ass. Says traitors. Heedy. High-minded. Lovers of pleasures more than the lovers of God. And that's going into that scripture I pulled from Matthew. Whosoever shall find his life shall lose it. Lovers lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. Going on to say, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. It says keep away from these type of people. Distance yourself. Distance yourself from these type of people. Get a proverb on that. Proverbs 1. Goes up. Proverbs says I'm gonna get the whole example because this whole example is so powerful. It says Proverbs 1:10. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Let's go into that word entice.
Strong's H 6601. Patha. Patha.
To be spacious, be open, be wide. To be spacious, open, or wide. To make spacious, make open. To what? To be simple, entice, deceive, persuade. To be open-minded, be simple, be naive. To be enticed, to be deceived. To be deceived, be gullible. To persuade, seduce, to deceive. To be persuaded, to be deceived. If somebody comes up to you talking about doing some stupid shit, it says consent thou not. Don't agree with them. If they say, come with us, let us lie, come with us, let us lay wait for blood, let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause, let us swallow them up alive as the grave and whole as those that go down to the pit. You know what I'm saying? If these people come to you, you know what I'm saying, talking about doing some foolishness or talking about just any type of foolishness, wickedness, spiritual wickedness, talking about going against these scriptures, talking against the scriptures, doing anything that's just out of order. It says, let us swallow them up alive as the grave and whole as those that go down into a pit. We shall find our precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. You know what I'm saying? If people come to you talking about we need to do this and this and that to get this, that, and the third, and it's not according to the scriptures or it's not according to righteousness, and they say, casting thy lot among us, let us all have one purse, be on one accord, you know what I'm saying, let's do this thing together. It says in 15, my son, walk not thou in the way with them, refrain thy foot from their path. Why? For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. And it says what? Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. I'm going to let y'all figure that one out. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird. If you got some sense, you'll be able to understand it. But going back, 2 Timothy 3:5, having a form of godliness, because ultimately all Israel shall be saved, and all Israel is beloved of the Most High and is chosen of the Most High. But you got the Israel of the world, and you got the Israel of the Most High, which is the elect. The Israel of the world has the form of godliness, but what? They deny the power thereof. They ain't trying to come into these promises. They could care less about these scriptures. They could care less about their biblical nationality and their identity. You know what I'm saying? They want to be in this world. They want to find their life in this world instead of lose their life and find it. You know what I'm saying? 2 Timothy 3:6. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women, laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It says, for as this sort are they which creep into houses. You know what I'm saying? They break up. They break into, not breaking into houses, but they penetrate. They infiltrate. They infiltrate order. You know what I'm saying? They infiltrate organizations and established orders and stuff. They infiltrate these things and they try to break it apart. And it says what? And lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts. You know what I'm saying? It's easier. Slack you. Sometimes I get too ahead of myself. They infiltrate established organizations. They infiltrate certain things with the intent to cause division. You know what I'm saying, and to break apart certain things. And that one, in this instance, Paul was being specific, talking about, lead away captive women, captive silly women, laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts. But ultimately, on a spiritual level, that applies to the nation of Israel too, because we've been led away. You know what I'm saying? As, the book of Proverbs says, we've been led to a strange woman. Talking about these other philosophies, talking about being led away from the love of the Most High to go follow after idolatry. It says, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. You know what I'm saying? Ever learning, but what? And never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. And that's bad. That's very frightening, you know what I'm saying? Ever learning, you know what I'm saying? You know a lot. You might know a lot. You think you know a lot. Let's go into the word ever learning. Ever.
Strong's G 3842. Pontate. Pontate.
At all times, always, ever. Pontate Matano.
Strong's G 3129. Monthano. Monthano.
Pontate Montano. To learn, be appraised, to increase one's knowledge, to be increased in knowledge, to hear, be informed, to learn by use and practice, to be inhabited of or accustomed to. So you always it's like a ponto montano, at all times increasing one's knowledge. You know what I'm saying? At all times increasing one's knowledge, but what? At all times increasing one's knowledge, but you're never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. And that's frightening. At all times increasing one's knowledge, but you are never able to come to this truth. Because what, you've been blinded. Give them ears to hear not. Who have you? Isaiah 6 and 10. Isaiah 6 and Isaiah 6 and I'm gonna start at 8. Also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, here I am, send me. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but what? Understand not. And see ye indeed, but what? Perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, least they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. Talking about ultimately, the Most High God ain't trying to, everybody's not meant to get this truth. Why? Because you've been blinded by the Most High God. Isaiah 6 and 10 is showing you, make their heart and this people fat, make their ears heavy and wet, and shut their eyes. At least they see with their eyes, at least they perceive the truth, at least they become enlightened and hear with the ears and understand and take it in and understand with the heart and convert and be healed. Then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without a man, and the land be utterly destroyed. So, like it says in Second Timothy 7, ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Why? Because you've been blinded by the Most High until the end times, until the fulfillment of the end times. I think it's Romans 11. Let me see if I can do that. Romans 11. So this is Romans 11 and 7. What then? Israel have not attained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. According as it is written, God given them the spirit of slumber, That spiritual docileness, you know what I'm saying? Spiritually docile. Eyes that they should not see and ears that they should not hear until this day. So going back to 2 Timothy 3, says, for of this sort, I already read that. Now as Janus and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. Janus.
Strong's G 2389. Yanes.
He and Jambres were two Egyptian magicians who in the presence of Pharaoh imitated the miracles of Aaron in order to destroy his influence with the king. The author of this epistle derived their names from the tradition of the Talmudists and the rabbins. Rabbinings. So let's go back with their understanding. Now, as Janus and Jambres withstood Moses, and as the definition just explained, during Exodus, when the Most High God sent Moses and Aaron, particularly Moses, to, you know what I'm saying, tell the Pharaoh to let his people go, and he do the miracles, the magicians would try to copy the miracles until it came to the point where they weren't able to. You know what I'm saying? And that showed the power of the Most High God. But Paul is comparing, you know, these people, and as it says, so do these also resist the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because at a certain point, the magicians weren't able to keep up. They through the will and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, they was able to do a little something. But at a certain point, you know what I'm saying, it was no keeping up to the miracles and the plays that the Most High was sending. And they even still, Pharaoh's heart was hardened. So like it says, so do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. Ever learning, but not able to obtain the truth. Of corrupt minds reprobate.
Strong's G 96. Adakimos.
Not standing the test, not approved, properly use the metals and coins, and in this application, spiritual, you know what I'm saying, not withstanding the spiritual test, which it says in which I already quoted in the last video, bearing that cross. That's a spiritual test. You picking up that cross, like it says, that which does not prove itself, such as it ought. You got to pick up that cross. And if you don't pick up that cross, you're reprobate concerning the faith. You're reprobate concerning the faith. And then not only do you have to pick up that cross, you got to endure to the end. Because what he who puts his hand to the plow, it's like he puts his hand to the plow and then looketh back. If not, let me just grab it. Cause that's one of my favorite scriptures. He that putteth his hand to the plow. What? Isn't that a Matthew? Let's see. Let's see what Proverbs has something like that. Proverbs 9 and 6. Oh, 22 and 6. Proverbs has something like that. Well, I guess, yeah. Well, it says Luke 9:62. This is Luke 9. Well, I just grab it. Luke 9:62. And Yahushua said unto him, no man, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. No man, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of the Most High. Why? Because this is supposed to be like as the I think the elders and apostles mentioned in their video. When you come to this truth, you make a covenant. You make a covenant with the Most High to do the work. When you come to this truth, you make a covenant. I think in the book of Proverbs or Ecclesiastes says, when you make that vow, you need to render on that payment. So when you come to this truth, you make a vow to do the work. And once you stop doing the work, you look back from the plow. Because y'all, like I said, y'all got to go deeper into these scriptures. You know what I'm saying? The plow is symbology of, when a person, before a farmer plants his crops, he has to plow the field. He has to get the field ready to receive the seed. You know what I'm saying? So it's actually hard work. That pushing that plow is not easy. That's why later on they actually they used to make the oxen drive the plow. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard work to plow the field. But once you look back to the plow, you're not fit for the kingdom of heaven. Because why? You don't plow the field. How can you? How dare you expect to reap the results of the harvest? And this is 2 Timothy 3:9. But they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. Like I explained. Because it's continuing in context, talking about the example of Moses and the magicians. Because at a certain point, they couldn't keep up with the miracles of the Most High. And that's likened onto these people living in the last days. They shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men. You know what I'm saying? And it has been manifesting, because the spiritual men of the Most High, the elect, the hopeful elect, we see what's going on. We see the folly. You know what I'm saying? Y'all skirt is being lifted up spiritually and physically too. And this is 2 Timothy 3:10. But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long suffering, charity, patience, persecutions and afflictions which came unto me at Antioch, at Iconium, at Lystra, which persecutions I endured. But out of them all Yahweh delivered me. So yeah, man, we ain't tripping, the men of the Lord, because we know Yahweh Shem Yahushua got us. Just like Paul said, he wasn't tripping. And it says, yeah, and all that will live godly in Yahweh Mashiach shall suffer persecution. And that's part of bearing the cross. You know what I'm saying? That's a given. That's a given right now. Yahweh let us know that in Matthew 10. It says Matthew 10 and 24. Matthew 10 and 22. And ye shall be hated of all men for my sake. Ye shall be hated of all men for my sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. But when they persecute you in this city, flee to another. He let the disciples know. He let us already know. We're gonna be hated. They're going to persecute us. Why? Because the disciple is not above his master, nor the disciple above his Lord. They persecuted our Lord. They persecute, and even in the Bible, you have to follow these scriptures. They persecuted Yahushua Mashiach, then they persecuted the disciples. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna persecute us. It's a given. It says 2 Timothy 3:13. But evil men and seducers shall what? Shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse. They're gonna become worse and worse. And you see that in these end times, the end of the end times, where young children can have a sex change without the consent of their parents. They can order estrogen pills and testosterone pills. Young children, due to the internet and social media, they're being exposed to certain things without the consent of their parents. You know what I'm saying? These devils making unrighteous decrees. You know what I'm saying? Every day, signing executive orders and they don't even know what they're signing. But this is a hope. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. And that's assurance, because I learned from the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, starting with Elder Apostle Tahar all the way down. And those men are constant. Those men are something that you can rely on, because one, they're tried and true in this. They're tried and true in this thing, and ultimately they have been set up by the Most High God to be the leaders of Yasha'Allah, to be the teachers of Yasha'Allah. And everything they say is concrete and is concrete and foundational in these scriptures. Seek ye out of the book and read, and know not one of these things shall fail. But continue thou in these things which thou hast learned. That's what it's a warning. Continue in these things that you have learned. You know what I'm saying? Don't be stand fast in this thing. You know what I'm saying? I brought a scripture the other day. If be the will as well, hopefully it will come back to my mind. Hopefully it'll come back to my mind, because it matches right up to this thing about trusting your drink waters out of thy own cistern. Proverbs, drink from your own cistern. Proverbs 5:15. Drink waters out of thy own cistern, and running waters out of thy own well. And in the spirit, that's trying to tell you to trust yourself. You know what I'm saying? Trust this knowledge that it's right. All these translations. But it's telling you to trust yourself, you know what I'm saying, on a spiritual level. Trusting the things that you have learned, trusting this truth. Because knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of thy salvation. You got to trust in that. Yeah, man. So that being said, I'm just going to say, watch out for these deceivers. You know what I'm saying? Keep building up in the spirit, because we coming into some very dangerous times. You know what I'm saying? We've been in the last days for quite some time now. So what we're looking for is to be delivered out of these things. You know what I'm saying? Through the will and power of Yahweh Shemi Shah. So that being said, Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the whole conclusion of the whole matter. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh Shemi Shah and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. For what? For Yahweh Shemi Shah shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. That being said,